Andrea Mitchell today asked a senator a question, and she implicitly equated the Hunter Biden story with the Trump story, which she had to take back at the end after the senator challenged her, but in a very calculated manner. I want you to take a listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side, because this is what needs to be done every time an anchor, a host, or someone else sort of make a flaw in the argument. Check this out. We'll take it on the other side.
I want to move on, though, to Donald Trump and Hunter Biden, actually. Your reaction as a family friend, as a Delaware senator, as a longtime, intimate of the Bidens, to this, it's more than a hiccup. The deal fell apart, and it has to be put back together again if he's going to figure out a way not to face a trial.
Well, Andrea, you asked me to comment on both Donald Trump and Hunter Biden, and I'll speak briefly to their respective legal challenges. The press is reporting that Donald Trump, former President Trump's lawyers have been notified by Jack Smith that he may well be indicted in the coming day or two for his alleged role in the January 6th insurrection. And Hunter Biden, as you just referenced, had a hearing in front of a district court judge in Delaware about a plea deal. The judge expressed some real concerns about the supervision of a piece of that agreement that would have allowed Hunter to avoid any prosecution for a gun-related offense. This is a common practice in prosecutions where you're a first-time offender, the offense is related to drug abuse, and you enter into a supervision agreement where, as long as you do not reoffend in terms of anything involving owning weapons or substance abuse, that record is expunged. This was not unusual. But in this particular case, the judge was asking about who is going to supervise that. That piece of it fell apart. I expect that they'll be back in front of the judge with a revised deal in a matter of weeks. Here's what matters, Andrea. In one case, it is the former president who is trying to be the presidential nominee for the Republican Party who is facing very real legal challenges. In the other case, it's a private citizen, yes, the president's son, but someone who never served in the White House, who had no official role. I think that is a significant difference. None of this that relates to Hunter Biden and his history of substance abuse and his plea deal and the District Court of Delaware relates to President Biden. All of the charges that have already been laid against former President Trump in other contexts and that may soon be further advanced by an indictment directly relates to the conduct of former President Trump, in this case, in office. Conduct that resulted in an armed gang assaulting the building that I am in here in the United States Capitol. So let's just be clear. One is about the conduct of a former president in office, and the other is about a private citizen, the son of the current president. There's a stark difference.
You are absolutely correct, and I should not have analogized those two things together in my haste. There's no question that they are of very, very different proportions. There's no comparison. What I meant to be asking you in my defense is, are you concerned about the House Republicans trying to make much of this now and saying that there is something to be investigated that could warrant opening an impeachment inquiry of the sitting president of the United States based on the fact that there is an ongoing investigation into his son's business dealings and the allegation that he was involved, which they have strongly denied and there's no evidence of.
And that is what's important. I give Andrea Mitchell a lot of respect for doing what she just did. In my haste, I analogize those things. In other words, I made those two very, very different analogies, very different things. I made them analogies. I should not have done that. In my haste, I failed, and I accept your correction, Senator, because now America got to get the differentiation between the two. I've said many a times, I'm not going to discuss Hunter Biden. It has no bearing on what's going on in our country right now, nor should any of us be making those two the same issues. They're not. And Bridge says, yes, son and dad, Donnie and Jared, where is the $2 billion? Notice also, Bridge, I didn't cover that subject either. That is corruption on the president's son-in-law side, I left it alone. And why did I leave it alone? I have no evidence of anything. I don't think any of us have any evidence of anything. If we find out later on that there's some evidence that puts the two together, then we can make that an issue. But until then, we don't make it an issue and we don't waste the time. Like I told the right-wing caller earlier on, I asked him, did talking about Hunter Biden make your day better? Did it help your family? Did it create public policy to assist? And that the answers for all of that was a resounding no, and therefore we leave it alone.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.